A remake for Blue Shift in the Source engine has been around for just as long as Black Mesa as a project has existed. That remake, along with a remake of Opposing Force, are both being handled by the same team. You can still see updates and progress on their YouTube channel and ModDB pages. However, with the full retail release of Black Mesa alongside Black Mesa's own workshop support, a small group of people, calling themselves the HECU Collective, took it upon themselves to just remake Blue Shift themselves and slowly release that remake episodically, chapter at a time. This project has been semi-playable for years. However, recently they have started talking about their largest endeavor yet, Chapter 5, Focal Point. Now, for those that have yet to play Blue Shift, Focal Point is when Barney Calhoun goes to Zen. If you have played this Blue Shift remake, you know that the development team has taken a page out of the Crowbar Collective's book and started expanding the game wherever possible. The game feels almost like a spiritual successor to Blue Shift, with the same storyline, but many different features added in to make the experience more fleshed out, more believable, and more in line with what you come to expect from Black Mesa, for better or worse. It's now known that Focal Point is currently set for a release in summer of 2024. Right now, we have 4 playable chapters, with the most recent one, Captive Freight, releasing last December. The experience is unmatched by any other free community download for Black Mesa specifically, and for those that may be familiar with the HECU Collective, this is the same group of people that attempted to remake the classic Half-Life 1 mod, Azure Sleep. The mod itself has original voice acting done by the same individuals whom did the Black Mesa voice acting for Barney and the scientists. A lot of original animation, motion capture, level design, set pieces. It's an incredible experience, and I've personally been holding off on playing any of it until it was a fully feature-rich and complete game. However, with all of this new information that we have received on the Focal Point Zen remake, I needed to try it for myself, and I was blown away. So much so that I stopped playing, and I'm planning on doing the whole thing on my Twitch page and YouTube live stream. On the 10th of this month, we got a new media release for Focal Point, showing off some incredible material work, some new music, what Zen is actually going to look like, along with the reference to quote-unquote ancient human tech that's been left in the border world when Black Mesa did their first few expeditions. My favorite bit is the HEV suit Mark III. Super creative. It's important to realize that Blue Shift only exists because Gearbox was working on a Dreamcast port of Half-Life 1, and that expansion pack was developed with the console's limitations in mind. Sure, the Dreamcast port was meant to come out 2 years following the release of Half-Life, but the Dreamcast is not a Voodoo Pentium-based PC. It's the Dreamcast, and of course, although that port was canceled, it was very far along, and the expansion was pretty much finished in 2001. Gearbox was given the green light to just release it as a standalone product, and the fact it was part of the Dreamcast collection was kind of just unknown for many years. Because this is being developed on the Black Mesa engine with modern technology, the ability to expand things is so obvious that, well, it turns this, you know, somewhat beloved, somewhat underrated, somewhat kind of experience into a very, very good game. The development team is also looking at refreshing and updating many of the previous chapters with some of the new tech that they have developed specifically for Focal Point. I'm very excited, and this is one of my favorite things to come out of the Black Mesa workshop. Of course, the workshop is full of excellent maps. In fact, you're not even watching the Blue Shift remake. This is just some random map I found on the workshop. If you've not really explored the custom maps that exist for Black Mesa, I suggest it. There's some excellent stuff out there, especially when there was the Escape from Black Mesa mapping competition, resulting in some of the best work that I had seen until I started playing Black Mesa Blue Shift. It should also be stated that there is a much smaller community endeavor to remake Opposing Force in Black Mesa, and some of those chapters are available to be played right now. 3 of them. The attention to detail and polish is not up to par with what we're seeing with the HECU Collective. However, it is still very much worth your time for those wanting to experience the throwback content in a more modern light. I had the opportunity to talk to the HECU Collective a little bit and asked a few questions. More specifically, why the Black Mesa team, the Crowbar Collective, is advertising for this community project. Well, as it turns out, The Black Mesa team loves what's happening here, and although Black Mesa Blue Shift will probably never be sold as a commercial product, the Black Mesa team, the Crowbar Collective, is helping out with things like QA testing and, of course, voice acting. It's so cool to see the collaborative process between these two teams because these are two completely independent teams. We may be able to drum up some kind of support for a preview of the Focal Point campaign when I do my Black Mesa Blue Shift live streams, but that is up in the air for the future. The download links to this incredible experience are of course down in the description below, as well as the invite link to the HECU Collective's Discord server. The original Azure Sleep Part 1 remake is very much worth your time, as well as their very first project, something called Black Mesa Black Ops, which was never truly finished, but still, again, very good. Of course, check out the Black Mesa Workshop if you just want to be able to play some new Black Mesa maps. I highly recommend it, and thank you so much for spending some time with me this afternoon. I'm Tyler McVicker, the Passionate Gamer. If you want to support these videos and see more of them, I have a Float Plane and Patreon page. Don't feel pressured into giving me any support, but if you can, it really helps me out more than you could possibly imagine. I'll talk to you all later. Peace and hair grease. Adios.